Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and today we're in front of my 150-gallon Modified Hillstream Aquarium. If you're new here, this was the very first build on this channel, and it's one of the main reasons I made my YouTube channel. I'm so passionate about the specialized needs of a lot of the fish in this aquarium that I really wanted to share it with you guys, and I think this aquarium's been very successful over the past few years. You see, we built this from the bottom up. We collected the rocks, we put in the filtration, which is all customized, and then we slowly made fish selection. And we never actually even finished stocking this aquarium, but unfortunately the time has come. It's the end of an era. I need to break it down. But lest you get too upset, we are going to rebuild. I just need to move it to another section of the fish room. My doctors are not allowing me to stand on hard surfaces, so in order to be able to continue to send out some of the fish that I breed, I need to restructure the fish room in a way that I can do it without so much pain. So the 150 has to move, and I think it'll be really cool in the other side of the fish room. But today I thought that we would take a really close look, both inside and from outside, of the 150-gallon aquarium to give it sort of a last hurrah. So let's get started. Over the past 4 years, this aquarium has gone through several transformations of plants, but all of the original fish are still in here except for my white clouds, which I've moved outside. Now, if you're new here, just to refresh your memory on this aquarium, it is a 150-gallon aquarium. It utilizes a corner matin filter, which is plumbed to an FX6 with upgraded tubing in order to provide a really insane amount of current up at the surface, which makes a loop across the aquarium. And as we look around and across the aquarium, you can see the movement of the plants. And what this does is just provide a really high oxygen content, because all of the fish in this aquarium are from hillstream environments. And what that means is they're from an area in the world where it's near waterfalls, so there's a significant amount of water movement, as well as super high oxygenation of very dilute, relatively cool water. Now, one of the hardest things about maintaining an aquarium like this in my fish room is that it's quite warm down here. So it was especially important that I have a super high turnover rate in this aquarium. It's stocked with all kinds of different loaches, some native U.S. shiners, some various danios, and some neat gobies. So today we're going to feed the aquarium, take a look, and just talk about how amazing this aquarium has been. It really was my dream aquarium from the time I really got into keeping fish again as an adult. And it took me several years to accumulate the supplies, the fish, and the space to have this aquarium. So I am definitely feeling very, very bittersweet about having to move it. But without further ado, let me grab my little action cam and we'll look inside and outside the aquarium during feeding time. So there's a few reasons I want to move this tank. First is so that I can sit down to pack orders and just put all of my little tanks with my resale over in this section of the fish room, but also because this aquarium is exceptionally difficult to photograph or film for you guys because it's just too close to my shipping station. So by moving it and rebuilding it, I'll be able to get much better footage for you guys. Plus, I'm going to have it above a new project that you guys don't know about, and my South American nano tank, the 75, and I think the foil of the 3 aquariums, especially with the new one, is going to be really striking, super cool, and just provide really great educational content for you guys. The fish that you see here are yellowfin shiners and brachydaniochaethet, as well as a rainbow shiner. Now, the shiners are all U.S. natives, and just a really underrated fish. And at some point in the future, I'd love to work with more of them. I need to get more rainbow shiners, but for now, this is what's in here. This aquarium doesn't utilize any CO2. It's never had a fertilizer put into it. and it's just an inert biotope style fine gravel that was chosen for the loaches to be able to bury into in order to facilitate their breeding, in which it's been quite successful. Now, it takes a few minutes for all the fish to come out, but once they do, it's really spectacular. My absolute favorite part of this aquarium has to be just how it draws you in. At first glance, it looks as though it's relatively empty, but if you sit down, sit quietly, and look around and just wait, there are interesting little fish that crop up out of everywhere. Of course, the rhinogobius are always super flashy. That's my scarlet goby male, and some more of the Daniocyathid. But then as you sit and watch, things like the silver coolies come out of the woodwork. You know, at first glance, it's super easy to miss them, but there's quite a lot in here. And as we look across the aquarium, you'll see various of the gastromyzon and pseudogastromyzons. Here we have a Sowelia linealata, a reticulated hillstream loach, as well as one of my gastromyzon viriosus, the guy with the yellow tail. And then cobitus loaches coming out of the woodwork. The cobitus have been one of the nicest surprises of this aquarium, in that, you know, they're ones that are pretty common, super widespread. They're also called spiny loaches, but they've bred like crazy in this aquarium and have really become one of my favorites. In fact, they love to burrow down into this fine gravel substrate with just their head or their tail peeking out, which I've shown you in past videos. Now, this aquarium is very lightly stocked, and that's one of the things that I want to work on in the future. I want to get a lot more Stiphodons for it, as well as some more of the unique little loaches. But it really is one that whenever anyone walks into the fish room, they're immediately captivated. I think one of the biggest surprises with this aquarium was how well all these crypts did. Those were sent to me a couple years ago by my friend Penny up in Connecticut. And I actually had planted them all the way over here, but they migrated across the center of the aquarium and have really colonized the entire thing, growing underneath rocks through the egg crate that supports all this hardscape, and really just creating a very impressive thicket that I love to watch blow in the breeze in the current of this aquarium. The fish also really love it, and it's just been a really, really awesome surprise. And I sort of dread the idea of disrupting it because I'm pretty sure they're going to melt, but we'll see if we can't retain that. It's possible I might be able to remove this or move this aquarium without having to take out the crypts, though I will certainly have to remove all of these giant rocks and wood. In fact, yeah, it's going to be quite the job. I'm hoping to achieve this in the next couple weeks, so stay tuned and have that notification bell on for that. Initially, the Daniocyathid were super visible in this aquarium. I'm not quite sure what changed to make them feel more shy. I don't know if it's that they're constantly spawning, but they're always over in this corner. So that's something I'm going to address when I reboot this aquarium. Again, we have another Sowelia there and a little Sicyopus zosterophorus. Now, one of the things that this aquarium needed from the beginning was a good development of offwalks. And what offwalks is a coating of algae on a lot of the surfaces, so that a lot of these specialized fish could graze consistently. If you just supplement them with dried foods or even gel foods, they tend to not do well and have a difficult time maintaining body condition. So in the first year or so of this aquarium, I kept one of the lights on 24/7 in order to encourage the growth of algae on this rocks. You see these rocks are actually a very light gray color, but as you can see here, they have a constant film of algae growing on them. And it really took a lot of trial and error to see what would work in order to maintain that without it destroying all my plants. As you can tell, all the fish in this aquarium are nice and plump and robust and super happy. One of the things too with this aquarium is we've reached about the lifespan of a lot of the loaches in this aquarium. So I expect to start seeing their numbers dwindle over the next few months to a year. So it's a good time to give it a reboot, really evaluate what all is in this aquarium and start the restocking process. In order to add fish to an aquarium like this, I quarantine them for 3 to 6 months of health. And that's because with all of these guys being pretty rare, relatively expensive, and not very tolerant of medications, it's exceptionally important to make sure that everything is in perfect health before it goes into this aquarium. So the plan is to go to the steel yard this week, pick up the materials we need for the new stand to support the aquariums, get that built, drain this aquarium, pull out as many fish as I can, pull out the hardscape, get the rest of the fish out that I can, move it, drain the 75-gallon South American Nano, move that onto the stand, refill it, and then place the new aquarium that's going to be coming in the next couple months as well. This is an extremely large amount of work, and I also have to do it quite quickly because I need to be able to start moving in my fish from the tubs. So I feel a bit of pressure here in order to get this done. But I'm pretty excited about what the end result will be. I'm really hoping it's going to allow me to be able to sell off some more of my fish to those who are interested, as well as better feature this aquarium in its newest form, as well as give a freshen up to the main room of my fish room. Thank you so much for joining me on saying goodbye to this aquarium, or maybe it's better to say see you later, because again, we will rebuild. For those of you that have been here from the beginning of this aquarium, I'm sure that you have the same mixed emotions that I do. This aquarium has really been at the heart of my channel for all the 3.5 years that I've been providing YouTube content, and has really allowed me to share with you guys what I think is the most magical appeal of all of these fish that otherwise have a reputation for being pretty difficult. It's been a great way to show you how well they can do in the home aquaria. And I hope that you guys will join me for the rebuild of this aquarium, and let me know down in the comments if you have any specific small Hillstream fish that you would love to see me work with in the future. As always, thank you for your continued support. Thank you to all my patrons, and stay tuned for the build of the new stand, the move of this aquarium, and the installation of several new aquariums as we reboot the fish room and say goodbye, for now, to the 150-gallon Asian Hillstream.